Hi there, and in this video we're going to take on a very interesting information gathered and provided by Pride1GG, which always do their best to give us as much useful and interesting information as they possibly can. I'm not related to Pride1GG anyhow, so I'm just sharing this information in this video and discussing it. If you're interested to check out this source, I'll leave the link in the description below. And what we're going to discuss in this video is like a character usage statistics or percentage in all 10 stages of Memory of Chaos based on 440 players who shared their clears with Pride1GG. Of course, 440 players is not entire player base, definitely, and not even the amount of players who cleared all 10 stages of Memory of Chaos. Keep that in mind. Also, from what I know, you didn't have to clear all 10 stages of Memory of Chaos to actually share info with Pride1GG, so there might be some specific teams which can get, for example, or some specific characters which can get to Memory of Chaos stage 6, but can go further. And same with opposite situation, there are some whaley whales who use some specific characters in Memory of Chaos stage 10 while not using them in any other Memory of Chaos stage, so keep that in mind too. And of course you can consider this as a guide because there is a team for every stage and the percentage of usage of this team, but it's not a general truth, so it doesn't mean that if you don't have this exact team you can't go through this stage, and the opposite, if you cleared the stage with this exact team and it's not listed, it doesn't mean that this website is bad. It's just matter of how many people were asked about how they cleared Memory of Chaos. So if you're talking about teams, of course, let's start from maybe stage 6, 7, I think are like the most troublesome for people. So of course it would be obvious that with the rule where we have like lots of benefits to hunt and erudition characters, the most used characters are Genuine and Silly, though you see by percentages that they are lower than Natasha actually. If we merge them, yeah, Natasha is higher in percentage. Then we have Silly, and then we have Trailblazer Fire because it's a really strong free-to-play character. Then we have Genuine because it's a flexible 4-star harmony character, and then we have Genuine. And these characters might fall off a bit, maybe by 10 to 20% when we get the rule changed, because again, they won't be that strong. They will still be really good characters, and of course since everyone is summoning for them, it will be strange to not use them, but keep in mind that these characters are so strong currently because of the rules, and that's why almost everyone after stage 7 or maybe even after stage 5 are using these two teams. Like we have like the most iconic Silly team where we have Silly, Bronya, and then like any healing character and any preservation character. And of course, since this combination is so strong, you can actually just use like a weaker, we can say 4-star healing character and just a weaker preservation character if we compare to Jeopard. But keep in mind that not that much people have Jeopard, so time to time people are just using Trailblazer Fire, and I think March 7 or at stage 5, no one is using, like there are some people who are using 2 preservation characters, but some people can even do without that by, for example, using 2 supportive characters and 1 healing character. If you're talking about, for example, let's say stage 8, we see exact same teams. People are just using healing character plus preservation character and then main DPS character plus the fitting harmony character. Same goes here. Here exactly we have Bailu on the left and Natasha on the right to clear debuffs, I guess. So it's not that different. And talking about Silverwolf, you might see that there are not that much Silverwolves, and her overall usage percentage is only 31%. You might be disappointed about her at this point, but it's not because this character is bad. The problem is, it's not a problem, it's specificness. Pride1GG was gathering the info about this Memory of Chaos clearing during Silverwolf's like first days of banner. That's why, of course, people who already cleared all 10 stages didn't care about like re-clearing those with Silverwolf. That's why she's not used that much. But first of all, we are about to get a rule for Silverwolf, and definitely she will be the best character to benefit from those rules. And secondly, this is just a really strong character which can turn on lots of strategies, which is really important. That's why we still can see her. And like if you're talking about, for example, stage 10, people are using her a lot because they get this character, and after that they are able to clear stage 9 to 10. And we see how, if you're talking about stage 10, Of course, the most popular team, like it's not that big difference here, you see, but the most popular team is people are using Yanqing plus Jeopard on the left, even though Yanqing only has 16% usage rate. That's what I said, that people, especially whales who have Yanqing and Jeopard, can just ignore using him like until stage 10, and then on stage 10, of course, they just choose to use this team because it's the best one, since enemy has ice weakness. But for people who don't have currently, for example, Yanqing, or don't want to invest into this character, they just use Bronya, or not Bronya, Silverwolf, of course, and you see how you just put Silverwolf. The only like strange part about Silverwolf, I can't say weakness about Silverwolf, but a specific thing, you have to use DPS character of the weakness which enemy doesn't have. It might become like some kind of a problem. For example, if you want to use Yanqing, but enemy already has ice weakness, it's not that reasonable to actually use Silverwolf. It's not a problem, it's just a specificness. And for the second team, of course, everyone who has Sealy is just using Sealy, and those people who maybe are using like characters like Shusheng on the left, they are trying to use Jinyuan on the right. It's also like a bit specific, but anyway, people choose to do this too. That's actually it. Maybe let's find some strange teams like this one. Yeah, I guess people are trying to apply wind weakness on the enemy and use Sampo on the left. And on the right, of course, with Hook, it's a bit different, and Hook might actually shine, especially when we get Destruction Rule, and Hook actually can maybe even act better than Sealy and Jinyuan on exactly the weeks where we have Destruction Rule, because this character currently is just weaker than any Hunt or Erudition character, because she does not take any additional actions. This is really important, this is really defining, but again, in future she might shine. It's just a problem of the rule currently. I'm not saying that she will definitely be one of the strongest characters, because at that point we might get more than one strong 5-star destruction character, but I hope she will actually shine at some point. And we even see some teams which use Himeko. I think this is like a weakness break team where you apply lightning weakness, just deal lots of damage with Jinyuan, and then also follow up with Himeko, since she also can deal lots of damage if enemies are broken, and you can stack up those breaks. So this is how it is. Also, let's check the light cons if someone is interested, and Eidolons. I think Eidolons are more like try to excuse yourself while you are not trying to beat the Memory of Chaos, because hey, 7% of people are having Eidolon 6 Sealy. I'm not like this, I can't beat it. But honestly, 71% of people have Eidolon 0 Sealy. Same goes to Jinyuan, of course it's 69%, but still you see that most of people are playing with Eidolon 0 characters without any problem. If you're talking about light cons, it's a bit different, of course, because 52% have in the night and 64% have before dawn, so of course it's really defining. Only 12% actually clear with Jinyuan with the seriousness of breakfast. And of course, if you're talking about defining Eidolons, for Sealy it's the second one. We have almost 12% of people using her on Eidolon 2, and we have 18% of people using Jinyuan on Eidolon 1, which we can say is a bit more whaley, because like if we compare this, much more people have Eidolon 1 Jinyuan and Before Dawn, but it's not that big difference. They are both like really good characters, and they both like don't have that much competition in their like roles, so especially since we have to use two teams, so keep that in mind. If you're talking about some other characters, of course, these characters like Bailu, any regular 5-star character like Bronya will never have Eidolon 6 because it's almost impossible. If you're talking about whales, they can just continuously summon for rate up new like time-limited character, while with regular characters it's almost impossible, though we have 21% of Eidolon 1 on Bronya, because especially if you're whale, you can just randomly get one copy of Bronya while summoning for any other character, and then just get additional copy of Bronya from your 300 guarantee. That's how people actually do this, but still you see that 72% are doing perfectly fine with Eidolon 0. Same, like almost same goes to Jeopard. The chance, like not the chance, the percentage of people who are using Eidolon 1 is still 17%, but 73 are doing with Eidolon 0 perfectly fine, but 40% are using Moment of Victory Lightcon, though Landau's choice is still 16%. And if you're talking about Silverwolf, I think it's really interesting because If you're talking about Silver Wolf, 73% are using her on Eidolon 0. Of course, it's not that objective because, as we discussed before, lots of people cleared Memory of Chaos before actually getting Silver Wolf, but still, Eidolon 0, 73%. Then, of course, they are equal, like if you're talking about Eidolon 2 and Eidolon 1, because they are both really strong. And even Eidolon 6 is really strong, but it's really hard to get to Eidolon 6. But what is the most interesting thing is before the tutorial mission starts, has 70, almost 8% usage rate, while Incessant Rain has only 17%. This is really surprising for me that we only have third character in the game being time limited, and we already have the situation where just event-free 4-star Lightcon is so much better than 5-star Lightcon. So at this point, we might say that you just have to skip Signature Lightcon of Silver Wolf because before the tutorial mission starts is much, much better. Of course, at some point of the game, where we get more Nihility characters, which might get a really bad Signature Lightcon or might not get a Signature Lightcon at all if we are talking about 4 stars, then you might want to use before the tutorial mission starts on those Nihility characters and Incessant Rain on your Silver Wolf, but I think it's a bit more specific situation, so you don't have to care about that much. It's much better to just save up your resources. That's actually it. We can discuss a bit about Yanqing because it's a bit interesting. The most used Lightcon on this character is Swordplay, of course, because he's not synergizing of killing the enemies as much as Sealy does. And then the second one we have Cruising in the Stellar Sea. I think for those people who don't really care about Swordplay, just use the In the Night for Sealy and use of course, the Cruising in the Stellar Sea for Yanqing. I think it's most of all about the people who are clearing stage 10 with like Yanqing on the top team and Silly on the second team. So that's actually it. I hope it was helpful for you. Thanks for your kind attention and see you soon.